Raw review for the January 27th episode of Raw. I'm Will. That's Brandon. We're the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. As always, let's cheers. Talk about some wrestling.
The last Raw, the take-home Raw for Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
You think to yourself, man, this is going to be great. How could it not be? Star-studded. Maybe the best Rumble, at least on the men's side, of all time.
Yeah. Looking that way.
So I'm sure this would deliver, right?
It was a take-home show. Let's get into it. Seth Rollins, he started the show and he declared for the Royal Rumble. Yep.
In case you didn't think he would.
We know everybody that is going in the Rumble this year. No surprises for us. Obviously, there's going to be surprises, but at the same time, like, everybody has declared for the Rumble. Everybody. That's okay, though. 2025 started bad, he said, but he kept, and it made him think about who he was. And he said, when I am focused, there's no one better than me. My redemption story starts when I beat Drew last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. Was it last week? Yeah, he beat Drew last week with the roll-up, right?
No.
2 weeks ago. Oh, the Raw to Netflix.
Raw to Netflix was...
Sorry, a while back.
3 weeks ago.
A while back, 3 weeks ago. He beat Drew on Raw to Netflix, and that was the start of his redemption. And it will continue when he wins the Royal Rumble. He's going to toss Cena out, Jay out, and especially Roman Reigns. He made sure to stop on that. And everybody in the crowd was throwing up their ones. They love some Roman Reigns. But he says Gunther is just holding on to that title until I am good and ready. But there's also Mr. Cody Rhodes. Wouldn't it be poetic if I took the title I helped him get last year at WrestleMania? He goes, what about you, crowd? What do you think? Should I take on Gunther or should I take on Cody Rhodes? And before the crowd could graciously give him an answer, Gunther's music hits. Gunther, who's coming off hot off of a victory over Jey Uso on Saturday. If you want to see our review of that, it's up now too. But he walks out and he says, if you think I'm keeping this title warm for you, then where have you been? Where have you been for the past few months while I've been champion? He said, I've been taking out everybody, and I defended successfully against that clown, Jey Uso. He goes, you keep complaining about everything. You've forgotten what matters. How about you focus on winning? And he says, I hope you win the Royal Rumble, because if you win the Royal Rumble, I can't wait to embarrass you at WrestleMania. And Seth Rollins says, that title wouldn't exist without me. It is my title. It's not yours. It's not Jay's. It's not Damien's. It's not Finn's. It's not anybody who wants that title. And Gunther goes, I agree. You're the best. You're one of the best. So basically prove it, you know. And when this happens, Logan Paul out of nowhere. Yep. We were excited to see him, but if you guys think that you watching don't like Logan Paul, the crowd didn't like him more. That crowd was Dom heat level loud at Seth freaking Rollins tonight. At Logan Paul tonight. He could not get a word out, but he was fighting him, man. He did not back down. He was yelling to that mic, trying to do his best. So Logan Paul comes out and he goes, well, you think you two are special. Why do you think you're special? Because you're good at wrestling? He goes, I command attention everywhere I go because I'm good at everything. He goes, this company is in the Netflix era. It needs a new face. These two don't got that type of face. And at this point, the crowd is just exploding. And he goes, if you two should worry about anything, you should be worried about me when I win the Royal Rumble. I will main event WrestleMania, and I will choose Cody and he walks over and he goes, you, Mr. Gunther. And Gunther on the turn of a dime just goes, you know what, Seth, I changed my mind. I want him to win the Royal Rumble. He goes, so I can embarrass you. And when that happens, they kind of all have a stare down. Seth says one more line that he's going to win the Royal Rumble. And then everybody kind of just fizzles away from each other. No scuffle, no fisticuffs. But that was the opening segment of Raw. And I loved every single second of it. I'm giving it a pop.
Yeah, I'm going to pop this. From Seth's side, in terms of the three involved here, I thought it was like the worst for him out of it, I would say, out of the three. And then I would put Logan, and then I would put Gunther probably first. It's just nice to see Gunther kind of be assertive again. It wasn't just like about prestige, which I thought was nice. This one felt a little bit more personal, at least when he was talking to Seth. Logan, you can think what you want about Logan. In terms of WWE, he is a great heel. He's a natural heel. I understand why people don't like him. And so you bring the real life into it, and then that equals the WWE, and that's how you get Logan Paul.
Okay, he's a natural heel. I mean, every interview that they've done with him on YouTube and wherever else you get him, everybody brings up the fact that you just are a natural heel. You have a face that people just hate, and that works really well with them. One thing I want to point out here is that Logan Paul did make his Raw debut, but throughout this promo, there were a lot of hints pointing at Gunther versus Logan, which has been speculated to be taking place at WrestleMania. Obviously, we don't know if that's true or not, but there's speculation about it. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty awful decision. I mean, that puts WWE, I guess, in terms of like the mainstream media, right? Like they're doing a lot of stuff with kind of mainstream stuff for streamers or content creators like Speed or Kai or Logan, obviously. So I get kind of that angle, but in terms of being a wrestling fan, I know like that. Keep that far away. I don't want that at all. I don't know who Gunther is going to face at WrestleMania, but that would be on my short list of people. Like I know I don't want.
Yeah, I'm not as down on Logan as I think most people. I acknowledge that he can really go in the ring when they give him time to do it, but you have to earn your way up that ladder. That ladder is at the very top, and you need. I want to see him stick to his word and become a WWE superstar that I see on weekly television. He's obviously got the built-in heat. He can be a great heel if he backs it up with coming out to the ring every single week, doing Raw matches, showing up on PLEs, making big-time stuff there. But to even consider him taking the title off Gunther would be a ridiculous thing to do. But I am going to cautiously be optimistic about Logan Paul's return to the red brand, and hope the best because he is a guy who can get so many eyeballs on the product, and that's fun to have more eyeballs on the product.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that part of it. Like you said, it would be nice to see him on screen more, but even then, like he just has the proven track record that he's not going to be. He's got other ventures.
Correct.
And I mean, realistically, sometimes we don't even see the champs on weekly television. So a lot to ask there. I don't know what happens for him at Mania. We obviously all know he's going to have a match, but keep him far away from that title.
Agreed. CM Punk is with Kathy Kelly, and they're kind of just, Kathy basically says, like, hey, did you see what just happened out there? And Punk kind of just shrugged it off. But Sami Zayn shows up, and Sami calls out CM Punk for last week, saying that Sami Zayn is not on Punk's level, and Punk's like, respectfully, you're not on my level. And Sami Zayn's like, you know what? You're right. We're not on the same level. I've main evented WrestleManias. And he walks away, and he walks right into Karrion Kross, who basically tries to talk Sami into listening to him. And Sami's like, dude, I don't want to hear this right now. But Karrion Kross does kind of point out how everybody's got drama around Sami, and you can't trust his friends, and he needs to focus more on himself and to start thinking with his brain, not his heart. And then Cody Rhodes shows up after Karrion Kross goes away, and Sami just kind of smiles, gives him a tap on the chest, and walks away. Doesn't say anything. So Sami Zayn, Karrion Kross stuff, formulating. You're going to see a lot more of Sami Zayn tonight. So we do move it on.
Yeah, and that was, I think, altogether, we were probably about 40 minutes into the night.
Yeah.
So in terms of starting out hot, you didn't really get that.
You know it wasn't hot? We are fortunate enough to have the version of the Netflix where we don't get commercials. We get to see what they're doing all the time. We don't go to commercial break like 99% of US, it seems like. We do our watch-alongs, live streams. If you're there, thank you so much. But all the people in our live stream chat, they all have to watch commercials, but we are lucky enough to where we can see it. And what we saw was Dom Mysterio and Judgment Day making their entrance to the ring during the break.
Yeah, Dom and JD.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they were coming out here for War Raiders for their tag team title matches, but we were both looking at each other in our chat. We were like, well, they're coming out during the commercial break. That can't be a good sign. But Judgment Day would actually attack right away. JD and Dom would attack before War Raiders even decided who was going to start the match, right? They started off really hot. Dom did a suicide dive to the outside of the ring. They threw Eric out there. When JD McDonough decided to go out to the apron and he did a springboard moonsault to Eric, and Eric was pretty close to that announce table. And when JD did this moonsault, he over-rotated, and that man hit Eric, but his neck and the back of his head slammed onto the corner of the announce table in a fashion that left everybody in the arena with just a gasp, a audible, and Pat McAfee pointed it out. He was visibly injured. I mean, if you didn't see this, go freaking look it up. It was a spot to behold. I mean, I don't know how he continued the match.
Yeah, no, he's definitely. I mean, I think he knocks himself out for a few seconds.
I mean,
Michael Cole is on commentary saying, like, hey, somebody needs to get out here and check on him. Like, I'm being pretty serious about this. Like, somebody's got to come do this. And then you could tell that really, from that moment on, really hinders the match, which obviously is kind of secondary because, you know, JD's health is more important, but visibly shaken up. Shout out to JD for even trying to get through this match. Apparently at the end of the match, he walks back to the back, and apparently somebody had said he collapsed and was getting some medical help. So hopefully everything's okay and everything kind of shakes out there.
Yeah, what didn't help was he continued the match like an absolute champ, right? They had another spot where I think it was Ivar went to drop him on the back of his neck, and they went with
Eric.
it.
Yeah.
Was it Eric? They did some sort of like backbreaker, but he went too high with the knee and hit him in the back of the neck again. So JD had a tough day, but this match ended up being pretty spectacular for the most part. Of course, they slowed down a little bit because there were real life things going on there, but JD, Dom, Ivar, Eric, they all put on a show here. Eventually, Carlito would come out to help Judgment Day try to capture these titles, and he would actually get to spit the apple. He spit the apple, which is really nice to see. He carries that apple all the time, but he never spits it anymore. He finally did. He spit the apple at Ivar, which would lead to Dom hitting a 619 on Ivar. JD would then get tagged in, hit a moonsault. He tagged Dom in. Dom would do a Dom splash. 1-2, but Eric runs in and pushes JD into the pin, breaks the pin up, and everybody in that arena went, God damn it. So close, but yet so far. Eventually, Carlito would distract again, and Dom would try to go for a 619 on, I think, Ivar, but miss it. Ivar and Eric would then get a hold of Dom, hit the War Machine on him. War Raiders retain here. So Dom and JD come up short. JD's a champ for continuing that match, by the way. What do we think about them coming up short? What is next for Dom Mysterio? What's the plan here?
Yeah, I guess before we get too far into it, I'm dropping it.
You're dropping that. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I'm dropping it specifically due to the end result.
Okay.
Like the end result for me carries enough. The match itself was a good match, but the end result to me carries so much weight here that it's like, yeah, nope, I can't get past it.
I'm glad you dropped it for that reason. I will pop it just for the match. I like the match.
I'm dropping it just for that because I don't really know where they go from here. I thought it would have been really smart for them to give Dom and JD the win here. Now, obviously, JD gives himself a concussion there and has to maybe struggle with that. So he wouldn't really be able to be in the ring. So you kind of would have to go about that for the next couple of weeks here. But I would have liked it specifically from the Judgment Day angle of like, well, Finn lost the titles, but Dom helps JD get the titles back to Judgment Day, bringing some prominence, prestige back to Judgment Day. It really kind of says a lot that they came out during the commercial break, and people might push back and say that, oh, well, we're just trying to speed it up. We're just trying to get things free flowing, but there's plenty of stuff tonight that they could have cut out. I would like to see people get their entrances. That's how people become, connected with these wrestlers. What happens now, I don't really know. Judgment Day, again, looks like a joke that we've talked about because you even have Carlito helping. Judgment Day can't do anything without Finn. Maybe that's the route that it goes, but I would have been more intrigued and interested in Judgment Day coming out of this if they had won. Now, that's pretty easy to say, but if you go back and look when War Raiders get that win, there's no pop. There's nothing. They get the win, and everybody's like,
I thought for sure when Damian showed up on SmackDown that JD and Dom were winning today because I thought the entire story would pivot to Dom was able to get those belts back for him. Do Judgment Day need Finn at all? And then you could start that up, and we think we're going to eventually get a Dom versus Finn thing, which we still might get. But this loss makes us sit here and go, okay, well, where in the world? How are they going to get there? What's the pivot point here? Does Finn come back and go, what the hell? You guys had a chance, and of course you couldn't do it without me, and then they kind of just tussle without the belts being involved at all? Sure, maybe. I just think that the crowd is behind Dom at this point. We would have really liked to see Dom get his title attendees, as we like to say, and then with that, you could have easily done the Finn Dom story, right? It could have been just 1, 2, 3 there instead of whatever they're about to do next. So hopefully Finn Dom does take off, and hopefully one day Dom eventually gets that title that we're all wanting him to get.
Yeah, it would have been just a really quick way, a fast track, I guess, to really accelerate the sides on Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Finn's side, Dom's side. And realistically, everybody would have sided with Dom. Like, look, he did help us get those titles back. Let's accelerate that. Let's side with Dom here.
Yeah.
But you could leave the odd man out of Finn, being the jealous type or whatever. But I don't know where they go because Finn wasn't even on TV. Finn was not mentioned, nothing.
Who knows? They might have to speed up that Finn versus Dom process because I don't know if JD's going to be in action for a little bit. That looked rough. Mm-hmm. We would get Rey Mysterio and Xavier Woods out before this match happened. We found out that Xavier Woods has invited his family to sit front row for this match because the New Day is great and his parents want to come and support him. Mm-hmm. But they come out there and they're walking to the ring and they have the mics and the crowd is booing them and Xavier Woods is like, you're going to put respect on my name because we are in Atlanta, and he is the hometown boy.
Another entrance
that was, this was all taking place off screen, by the way.
Yeah, at least when they're walking to the ring and Xavier Woods is going after the crowd, talking about how he's Atlanta's favorite son, and how it's kind of what Kofi deemed him a little bit, and they're doing the crowd work, the stuff you like to see. Commercial break.
Good point. Jesus. Mm-hmm. Okay, well. Anyway, they look at the front row where his family's supposed to be. They're not there yet, but they're not worried. They might be a little late. Atlanta's crowded. I've never been there. I'm guessing there's traffic.
Yeah, traffic.
Yeah. But Xavier Woods and Rey Mysterio would fight, and Xavier would dominate most of this match early. He'd even hang Rey up in the second rope, jump off the top rope, and stomp him into the ground. Rey Mysterio is an old man who just keeps on putting bangers on, man. Him and Sheamus, aging like fine wine, these two. But throughout the match, Xavier Woods is trying to rip off the mask. He did that a few times ago when they fought a while back, still trying to rip off the mask, which obviously pretty disrespectful to do to Mr. Rey Mysterio. But Rey would have come back. He'd do a sunset flip powerbomb off the top turnbuckle. He hit a code red in honor of Zelina Vega, who randomly throughout the match we found out Zelina Vega is now going to SmackDown. So good for her.
By herself.
Good stuff that could happen there as well. I mean, I guess she's just out of LWO. But excited to see what she does there. Zelina's great, obviously. But Woods would eventually throw Rey into the announce table on the outside where Woods would look over and his family's there. His mom, dad, and his sister.
And Lil Yachty.
Yep, Lil Yachty.
A lot of celebrities, a lot of rappers, a lot of streamers, social media presence, things like that tonight.
He walked over to greet them and was kind of getting in their face about being late. He was like, what the hell? I bought you these nice tickets, front row. It's Raw. It's thousands of dollars ticket. Where you been? And his dad gets up and his dad looks him in the eye and he undoes his jacket to a shirt that says, New Day sucks. And then his mom did it. And then his sister did it.
And then his sister threw her shirt at Woods' face.
Yeah, his family just being mean to the New Day. And of course, when that happens, Xavier Woods gets back in the ring and Rey's waiting for him. 619 to Xavier Woods. 1, 2, 3. Rey Mysterio wins. He even goes out there and daps up all of Xavier Woods' family members after the match. But Xavier Woods takes a loss here. New Day, after the heel turn, are very entertaining in terms of people hating on them. They're great on a mic, but they just can't seem to win a single match to get some momentum. How do we feel about that? Overall, by the way, I am going to go ahead and drop this. I want to see some New Day wins. I'm sorry. I want to see wins. I know the family stuff was fun, but damn it, give them wins.
Yeah, I'm dropping this one as well. So first couple, rough little spots for me in the night. The match was fine. Even with the storyline of, Rey needs to get the win because he's the locker room leader. I understand that as well. Like, I get that also. But New Day is continuing to, we talk about it with like Gunther, or there are multiple people on the rosters that kind of cut out. Some people may say Cody. They come out and they cut the same promos. And the only thing we've been getting with New Day is like, oh, you guys turned on Big E. Yeah, we don't like that. You guys are bad people. Big E's a good guy. And that's been that way for, a couple of months now, or however long it is. And then they get in the ring and then they lose. And it's like, yeah, why should we care about you? Realistically, I mean, you look at it, like you come down and you can't back up anything in the ring. You cut the same stuff. You're really starting to make people kind of lose interest, I feel like. You got to have something for them. There is a lot of tag teams on the Raw brand, but if you look at the Raw brand, a decent amount of those are heels. So I don't really know kind of how they fit into everything. I originally thought New Day breakup, that was so good. They can go on and face War Raiders for those tag titles. We all assumed they were going to take those off of them. And the stock started up here, and ever since that debut, it's gone downhill, in my opinion.
Yeah, I really like the
Return,
work.
I should say, not debut, but
Yeah. I really like what they've done on the mic. I think they're great heels, and I think their heel turn is obviously one of the best heel turns in recent Raw history, and it's great. But their heel turn was supposed to be a very serious moment, and now it feels like we're a month into this, and they've almost just become a gag joke, which is fine here and there. But you had something real here where you could have really made them a dominant, back to the New Day level dominant, but now in heel fashion, which includes title runs, stuff like that. Like, I in my opinion, I'm with you. I wish we would have seen immediate inserting into the tag team title picture of stuff and had them be like really credible heels instead of just being this running joke that like, hey, you guys were mean to Big E and now your family doesn't like you and no crowds like you. And it's like, as funny as that is, and as much as I do laugh, I just wish we were kind of getting a serious heel take of this New Day.
yeah, and you look at it, and I don't know how much more they're going to continue to kind of do the same stuff over and over again. But the only way that I feel like what WWE is going to do is they're going to keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, and then there's going to be another attack on somebody, and then it's like, oh, you guys should buy back in because they also attacked this guy, and then you got whoever that is, and Big E tagging up or whatever. But it's like, why should I care?
I agree. Sami and Seth ran into each other backstage because, of course, the show ended last week with Sami accidentally punting or haluva kicking Seth Rollins. And he was like, dude, I mean, you saw the replay, right? Like, you knew that was an accident. Seth's like, yes, I know it's an accident. But just so you know, I think that all of the locker room sees this thing that you have with Roman Reigns and being able to go back and help your family over there whenever times are hard. It doesn't sit easy with everybody. Watch out about that. If that stuff happens again, I don't think anybody's going to take it as kindly as you want. Mm-hmm. And Sami's just like, okay, we're cool though. And he's like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Jey Uso. Oh, I'm sorry to be negative about this part, but I think this might be the most negative I've ever been on this podcast. This was ridiculous. Jey Uso comes out after losing to Gunther this weekend, and he has it felt like a 15-minute entrance. He was coming out with Quavo. They did this yeet thing all over Atlanta. All he was doing was standing on top of the announce table, yeeting and yeeting and yeeting and yeeting. And then he got the microphone and he said, you know, he lost to Gunther this weekend, which was bad, but he feels like he can still beat him. He declares for the Rumble, says that everybody's talking about him, and at Saturday, he's going to win the Royal Rumble. And that is it. No story progression, no really talking about the loss to Gunther, and he kept yeeting. And I'm not hyperbolizing this. They yeeted and yeeted and yeeted to his music for what? Probably 7-8 minutes. Jey Uso has 100% in my mind just become the mascot that Gunther was pointing out. I think that that's all they do at this point. They just throw him out to do his entrance, get the crowd hyped, but that's it with him.
Yeah.
Drop.
Yeah, I'm going to drop this as well. They come out and, you know, they do the yeet from the crowd, and then he goes in the ring and he eats, and then he eats on the announce table, and, you know, pretty much everything you said. No story progression here. You know, we had posted a short, a TikTok, a Instagram reel, all over. We posted this thing about, you know, it felt like, at least leading up, that like Jey had some stock back up in him again. I thought we all, I think, kind of knew he wasn't beating Gunther, but at the same time, like you found people like buying back into Jey, and you were like, okay, like they got to give him something. They got to give him something. They already fumbled originally before he won that IC title. They can't do that again, right? They got to give him something. And a couple people were like, yeah, no, he is just a mascot. And I was like, no. Let's hold off on that. That's not the case. That's rude, I should say, to Jey Uso. But after tonight, it's very apparent that they don't have anything for Jey. They don't know what to do for Jey. You know, there are people saying at the end of the Bloodline story, Jey is going to be the final tribal chief and all this stuff. And not too long ago, I mean, Jey was saying he was equal to Roman. Well, I mean, this was god awful. This is terrible. This did nothing for anybody. We talk about 2.5-hour shows. You could have cut stuff off. You could have gave people their entrances. You could have done that.
The reason this was so disgusting to me, the reason I'm so negative about this is because I think that Jey Uso just had one of his best one-on-one solo matches of this entire run, right? I thought that he had a great match against Gunther. I thought he was really this close. They made it feel like Jey Uso could beat Gunther. And then he comes out the next night, and it's 10 minutes of just yeet fest. Yeet, 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 yeet. Like, You didn't come out serious at all. You didn't sit there and go, oh, I was actually this close. Like I you know what? I did lose, but everybody look at what I did. I am that guy. I can compete against the best. I should be taken seriously. No, you bring out Quavo and you sit on a table and you yeet and you yeet and you declare for the Rumble and that's it. I'm sorry to be that negative, but Jay's a mascot to me at this point. They're going to have to build a lot of stock up for me to ever believe that he's ever going to be, like you said, the end goal of this bloodline story of him being a tribal chief. So
yeah, they could have done something very simple. They could have started to yeet right tonight, and then he could have grabbed the mic that he has, and he could have said, "Cut the music. We're not doing that tonight. I understand you guys want to party. I understand we like to have fun, but I'm pissed off." And you could have done that. I would have taken that, even if it was 2 minutes, something quick. You know what I mean? From this moment, I think it's really important to note, that this moment in the night in Raw, you could feel the energy in the crowd at least just drop.
Yeah,
they were all into the yeet, which was fine, but after this, I think everybody there was probably expecting something, and then they didn't get it, and it felt pretty deflating to at least the crowd there.
Yeah, 100% what you said. I was gonna I lost my train of thought of what I wanted to add on to it, but I can already see people in the comments and people that hear us say this and go, "Oh, well, it's just for fun." You know, sit back, have fun. Rumbles this weekend, totally fine. It's just when you keep throwing Jay into the same sort of stories and his reasoning in every story is the same. I am the equal. I am this. I am this. I am this. And then it just, you have him lose and then he eats the next night over and over again. That's rinse repeat with him. I've lost the confidence in WWE's actual long-term ability to book Jey Uso is my end point that I'd like to get across. Lyra Valkyria is in the back. She has entered the Rumble. And she was talking about who will be her next challenger, and she doesn't know yet, obviously. But Chad Gable and American Made are there, and Chad looks at her and goes, "Ivy Nile is taking that from you for me." Mm-hmm. And Lyra's like, "What? No, you're not beating me, and you're definitely not beating me and giving it to him." And not Ivy Nile, she says that she is coming for it. So I'm looking forward to that. And then they walk away and they run into Otis and Tozawa, who are filming a TikTok. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, and Ivy Nile says she's basically going to eliminate Maxine, so that only means that Maxine is going to eliminate Ivy Nile.
Yep.
Again, the stuff with Valkyria and Ivy Nile was fine. Chad Gable, my thoughts of my vision of Chad Gable holding up the women's IC title, I think is pretty funny. The Lady Liberty stuff is cool, as we kind of hinted at before, but the whole interaction, the TikTok, despicable, this is a disgrace, all this stuff, you could have cut this out tonight as well.
I agree. It is good to see Lyra, though. Mm-hmm. It is good to see Lyra.
Absolutely.
Want her to do well in the Rumble.
Mm-hmm. Even Ivy Nile was good.
Yeah, I love Ivy Nile too. Liv Morgan is Liv and Raquel are taking on Bianca and Naomi in tag action. Liv and Raquel entrance commercial. So there's that for Liv. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how the mighty have fallen.
The mighty have fallen.
Just 3 weeks ago, she was defending that title on the Raw on Netflix premiere.
Yeah. Anyway, Liv and Bianca would start the match, and Liv is smart and would go after that braid right away. And but once Bianca kind of got pissed, she'd kip up, and when Liv saw that, she was like, "Okay, Raquel, you're in." Raquel spent a lot of this match doing the offense for Liv and Raquel. It was sort of working where Raquel would come in, do the offense, and whenever Liv was in, she was doing the selling, which works really well for this tag team group, right? That's Liv's best. Liv's best in-ring aspect is how she makes other people look. She's great herself, but she can really sell. And then, of course, Raquel, we really need her to be built up because the Rhea storyline didn't really do it. And if you're going to build her up, Bianca's pretty good to do it with. But later in the match, we would get Bianca spine busters Liv, but Raquel would come in and power slam Bianca, then pick up Liv and power bomb Liv on top of Bianca. So she was being booked to look pretty good here. 1-2 there, but Naomi would come in, do a split leg drop over the top rope to Raquel, and Raquel would get right back up though, again looking strong, and do a fallaway slam to Naomi. Liv would co-breaker Bianca, but Liv would try to do a oblivion to Bianca on the ropes, but Bianca would catch her in the oblivion and get her in the KOD position when Dirty Dom's here. Chivalry is not dead, ladies and gentlemen. Dom comes out. Bianca is like, what the hell are you doing here? And Bianca does a springboard over the top rope and takes out Dom with a cross body. When that happens, Naomi goes into the ring. She hits a split leg moonsault onto Liv Morgan, but Raquel would break the pin and pull Naomi out of the ring and do her like big slam finisher.
Tijuana bomb.
The Tijuana bomb to Naomi onto the ring apron. And then she'd push Naomi in the ring. Liv would pin her. 1, 2, 3. Liv and Raquel get a tag team win here over the women's tag team champions, Bianca and Naomi, with the help of course, our Lord and Savior, Dominic Mysterio, one of the best men in heaven ever. I'm just going to keep saying random stuff about Dom.
Heaven.
I don't know.
He's in heaven. He's not in heaven. He's on earth.
He's everywhere. I love Dom. And he's not our Lord and Savior, but he's a great man. Anyway, guessing this means Liv and Raquel are back in the tag team division. Guessing this means Liv and Raquel are aiming at those tag team titles. That's probably what's next for Liv. I'm going to pop all this, by the way.
Yeah, I'm going to pop it as well. I will say I'm a little bit disappointed that is what's next for Liv. If you look at it, I'm like, damn. Like, I really liked her single stuff. Even though the Rhea and her feud kind of went on a little bit too long, I still really enjoyed Liv kind of getting the spotlight and showcasing what she can do. The match itself wasn't great. It wasn't fantastic, but it was passable. Raquel had some little chirp ups here or there, but overall, I honestly thought Raquel did pretty solid in the ring tonight. They made her look strong. Right person takes the pin here, Naomi. Dom comes out, helps Liv. The only gripe I will have is I understand this match is later in the night, so Dom has already had his match, but why can't Liv do the same thing for Dom? They had a tag title match. Those are more important, but that's what's next for Liv and Raquel. I assume they take them off of them, probably with some Jade interference or something. If Jade is cleared to come back, I don't really know, to be honest. But kind of sucks in a sense. Also kind of good though. You can give them something. Bianca can go into the single scene again, which is maybe the best thing out of this. But yeah, overall, it was probably the best part so far for this. I would have dropped it had Dom not come out and helped. We had a lot of questions or uncertainty about like, are Liv and Dom still together? Because they haven't really interacted. And Dom said he had a favor or was going to owe Liv, but we hadn't heard anything about it. Yeah. And then he saved him. So, yeah. Yeah, first off, it's nice to see that Liv and Dom are still a thing and that Dom's there trying to get Liv over like this. And then this might be what he was talking about. His plan is to eventually get them into the women's tag team title scene, which would be great in my opinion. Liv and Raquel, I think they are way better off than they were when they used to do this. Like, this is a better version. I think Raquel was booked much more nicely in this match against Bianca and Naomi than she was during the Rhea feud. So Raquel looks like a dominating force. And then, like you said, if Liv and Raquel rip those belts off of Bianca and Naomi, you can reinsert Jade into that and do whatever we need to do there. And I'm always down for Bianca Belair being back into solo action because I think she's been in that tag team division for too long. So you give Liv a belt, you get Bianca back into the solo scene. I'm a happy man and I'll take it. Yeah, and we kind of, I guess real quick before we move on, we had thought like maybe Liv in the mid-card scene because of both women's mid-card titles, and maybe Dom could go get a mid-card title as well. Maybe the route they go is some sort of, they're both tag champs of some sort. Yeah, works for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be great, actually. I'd be down. Titles and tendies, baby. Kathy. Him and Carlito, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. He can come out holding chicken tendies, and Carlito can come out holding apples. Tendies and apple. And Carlito's trying to give him an apple, and he just keeps refusing it. Yeah, they keep trying to give each other apples and chicken tenders. Yeah, that'd be great. Kathy's backstage with Rhea Ripley, who said that she reminded Nia that mommy's always on top. She hit her one catchphrase there, and then she says it doesn't matter who wins the Rumble, she will be ready for them. And Bayley shows up, and Bayley says, you know what, I'm probably going to win and be the one to face you. And Rhea looks at her and goes, you know what, good luck. And then Rhea walks away, and Io shows up, and she says, see you Saturday. So Io is also declared for the Royal Rumble. Not much there, but Paul Heyman would come out. Boom.
Big thing falls from the sky. It's a big old poster of WWE 2K25's cover athlete, Roman Reigns. We're very happy about that. We're gamers. We love WWE video games. By the way, if you are listening to this, when that game comes out, which we should have a release date today, and I should have looked it up, but we're filming this right now. Whenever that comes out, we will be doing a live stream all day with it, so be there for that. But we love WWE games. Anyway, Paul Heyman used that entire time to hype up Roman Reigns, say he's going to win the Royal Rumble. It's going to be good stuff. And we thought that was going to be it. But Drew McIntyre makes his way out to the ring. And Paul's waiting for him. Paul's just sitting there. We thought that it was going to lead to the match. But no, Paul and Drew are going to look each other in the eye and say some words here.
Paul stood on business. He said, "You're crowding me."
He did.
Said, back up, Drew. You're crowding me.
Hey, Drew. Hey, come on now. Drew gets in the ring and he goes, "You look nervous. Relax." Should I do the accent? Sami Zayn is... No, he goes, Sami Zayn is the only... I can't do accents. Sami Zayn's the only one who should be nervous. He goes, "You do not like me, but you should love me. I'm actually responsible for all your success." He goes, "It wasn't intentional, but I am the daddy of the bloodline. I won the 2020 Rumble. I eliminated Roman Reigns. I went on that year to beat," he didn't say the name, but he beat Brock Lesnar and won the championship. And when he beat Brock Lesnar to win the championship, the advocate was with Brock at the time. And when he won, he split from Brock, obviously, because Brock went off screen, and Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman ended up linking up after the split. That has obviously led to the Bloodline storyline and everything we have now a day.
He said, "You swam to the island of relevancy," or whatever. And he's like, metaphorically, because he looks at Paul, and I'm like, "God, that's good. I like that."
That's just mean.
That's
Paul, and so he goes, "I guess all I'm looking for from you, Paul, is a simple thank you." And Paul looks at him and goes, "Thank you, Drew, but like you said earlier, but you're crowding me right now." Because Drew at this point was like face to face in Paul Heyman's ass, basically. He was there. And Drew backed up and he goes, No, that's fine. Just do me a favor. Tell your boyfriend I'm targeting him and will eliminate him this weekend at the Royal Rumble." And Paul goes, with a smile on his face, he goes, "Drew, sure. I'll be sure to tell my tribal chief, Roman Reigns, that." And Drew looks at him and goes, "I wasn't talking about Roman. I was talking about your pal, CM Punk." And then they stare down and he goes, "Run." Paul Heyman leaves the ring. This was great. I like this. I'm popping it. We have Drew McIntyre has told Paul Heyman to not only let Roman Reigns know he's coming for him at the Rumble, but tell his boyfriend, CM Punk, that he's coming for him too. What do we think?
Yeah, he says that Roman already knows that he's coming for him, which I like that. I like that I don't know, we've all kind of assumed or thought that Drew versus Roman at Mania, so we know that that's probably picking up. But I like that. I like the little wrinkle here with the CM Punk stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I understand people might be Drew and CM Punk out. I hear you. I get it. But something like the Rumble match where Drew can get back at CM Punk and potentially cost Punk a WrestleMania main event, like Punk cost Drew so many times when Drew had the title, or when Drew with the ref count or the cash in or all these things. Like I guess like it's something I never thought of that might happen. I was a little unsure, and now that it's here, I'm like, well, now I don't know who's going to win. I don't know who's going to team up with who. I don't know who's going to eliminate who. I don't know what this means for the main event, because there's still a favor involved also as well that Michael Cole mentions when Paul Heyman is leaving the ring. And so it's like, this is probably the thing that's got my ears kind of perked up the most. Like, what's next? This is what I'm probably most excited for. And I don't have a real solid answer.
Yeah, I don't really know what Drew is alluding to here. I don't know if Drew knows what the favor is about. I don't know if Drew knows something that everybody doesn't know. If Paul Heyman and CM Punk are working more closely than we all think. And we all know that they're best friends. We all know their history, but they might be working to maybe overthrow the tribal chief in some way, shape, or form. What does the favor mean? I don't know, but Drew just even alluding to this makes this a crazy Royal Rumble love triangle between the three of them, because I don't know if Drew is more focused on eliminating Punk, and why would he be more focused on eliminating Punk? Because Roman Reigns is obviously the big threat. It's just, like you said, a wrinkle that is making me excited for the Royal Rumble this week.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not excited for the Rumble, the male side at least, I don't know what to tell you, because you got the Seth, Sammy, Drew, Punk, Roman, just this whole cloud of like, what the hell is going to happen? What the hell is going on? He sit there like these people could team up, but these people might not team up, but these people don't like these people. You got Jey Uso also in there as well. That could come into play. There's a lot of storylines going into this Male Rumble.
Yep, and this led right to Drew McIntyre's match against Mr. Sami Zayn that took off quick, and Sami Zayn ended up doing a tornado DDT to Drew McIntyre, and I don't know what happened, but on the way down, I think Drew's shoulder or his arm kicked up on the way down the DDT and clocked Sami Zayn right in the nose and broke that thing. I mean, I don't know if it's official yet, but if you've seen a broken nose before, this kind of looked like one. Covered in blood, drenched in blood immediately. Sami Zayn, JD McDonough, voice cracks.
Will.
I was at the game yesterday, man. My voice is gone.
Yeah, between the swelling, also as the end of the match, you get a close up on Sammy. You see the swollenness of the nose and the amount of blood that continued. It was nonstop.
Yeah.
It just continued and continued and continued. Makes it really tough to breathe. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Sami Zayn, I mean, this happened very early on. Sami Zayn toughed this one out, man.
This is like the first minute and a half. I mean, this is like one of the first big moves.
Yeah, toughed it out, man. All good things for him. But eventually, Drew would go for Claymore and miss, and Sami had followed up with a exploder, and he would go for a haluva kick, but Drew would get out of the way, haluva kick. He would roll up Sami Zayn, put his feet on the rope. 1, 2, 3. Drew gets payback for the prior weeks in the way he's lost because Seth Rollins rolled him up. Jey Uso rolled him up. So he finally gets his own roll-up win, but that wasn't it. Drew McIntyre attacks Sami Zayn after the bell. And when that happens, Cody Rhodes is here, and he runs out. Cody Rhodes sprints to the ring. He starts to help Mr. Sami Zayn, and then when that happens, Kevin Owens runs out. He starts attacking Cody Rhodes, but Cody actually starts getting the advantage on Kevin, and then Drew McIntyre attacks Cody and pulls Cody over to the ropes and starts beating up on Cody Rhodes in the corner, and that man Drew McIntyre must have a spider sense because when Sami Zayn rolled up behind him to haluva kick Drew McIntyre from behind, he got out of the way, and Sami Zayn ends up haluva kicking Cody Rhodes right in the mouth. And KO looks at Sammy and kind of is like, he doesn't say anything, but he kind of gives him that look of like, proud of you. Drew McIntyre's cracking up as he's walking back out of the ring. I thought this match was great. I thought Sami Zayn did a good job getting through his nose. I thought the attacks afterward were crazy. We have Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn drama now. We have all the Sami Zayn stuff is just boiling over. I'm popping it.
Yeah, I'm going to pop this as well. Quicker match, or at least it was a nice match. Sami Zayn, just like Josh Allen now, has never defeated Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. He's never defeated Drew McIntyre. So you're just not good enough. Sorry to tell you.
It's not good enough.
Nice win here. Drew gets a win. We established Drew McIntyre again, or at least get him on the right path. Was really needing Drew to get a win here. All the stuff after him, haluva kicking Cody, that also ties into the KO stuff that you mentioned, but it also ties into the Rollins Sami Zayn, the carrying cross thing about nobody can trust you. Well, you always attack your friends. I can't trust you. Can I trust you? That sort of thing. So Sammy is like you could spin a bottle on like who could he attack next or accidentally attack or who does he help? And you're going to get different answers. And he's maybe the most important piece.
Sammy going to cause this sword, shield, whatever group. Sammy going to be the catalyst for a lot here. He's pissing everybody off on his mistakes. This man needs to start aiming his haluva kicks, man. Look before you kick. You can't be kicking Seth Rollins. You can't be kicking Cody Rhodes. You're kicking all your friends right in the face. Eventually, they're going to turn on you, and you're going to have to fall back to some bad people, a.k.a. Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre. So we're looking good there in the Rumble as well. There's going to be a lot boiling over.
And then right then you would think the night ends.
You would think the night was over here, and it felt over. Everybody, the crowd was looking around like, why are we continuing here? Cody Rhodes is in the ring, had just been haluva kicked by Sami Zayn.
And they go to commercial.
Go to commercial. He's holding his face during the commercial break. Sami Zayn kind of looks around distraught, leaves. And then we come back from commercial break, and Cody's got a mic. And Cody gets up. He doesn't go, God damn, Sami Zayn, why'd you kick me in the face? That hurt. He skims right over that. He doesn't even mention it. Cody just grabs the mic and he goes, and at this point, they had lowered the belts that are now hanging above the ring for the ladder match. They're now lowered. So Sami Zayn got kicked in the face. Isn't going to talk about that. The belts are now lowered. What the hell are we doing here? He says it's not about the belts. It's about the work. He goes, I do the matches. I do the shows. I am everywhere. And I can't wait to get past Kevin Owens so I can focus on more important things. And that more important thing comes out. CM Punk's music hits. And we're like, what the hell is happening? What the hell is happening right now? Punk goes, dude, are you all right? Like, I'm genuinely asking you. As your friend, are you good? All of this, I think, is getting to you. I know what title does to a man. I had it for over 400 days. You want to be like Cena. You want to be Bruno Sammartino. You want to be all these guys. But guess what, man? No one's Superman. Even if you put a red, white, and blue tattoo on your neck. Cody goes, I don't have a lot of friends, but you, CM Punk, you're my friend, right? And Cody is sort of going crazy here. He sounds weird. And Punk goes, yes. I promise I will always be your friend. I made that promise to your dad. I love you, dude. And he goes, I see this road that you're on. I have failed you. Your father has failed you. We've all failed you. But at the same time, no one could have prepared you for this. You can't have friends when you are the champion. And Cody goes, Punk, please tell me what is next for me. And Punk goes, well, short term, you're in your hometown. You should probably hang out with your family, but I know you. Royal Rumble's this weekend. You're probably doing a bunch of promotion. You ain't going to get any sleep. You ain't going to get any sleep. You're not going to have any time to yourself. You're probably going to go insane all the way to it. He goes, you're probably going to have a bunch of time. Jesus, voice is going very quickly. Anyway, he says, when you get past Kevin Owens, because I believe that you will beat him, you're going to have to do even more on the road to WrestleMania. You're going to have to do all this promotional stuff. You're going to be away from your family. You're going to be an empty man inside of a sold-out arena. I absolutely love that line from CM Punk. He goes, and I have some bad news for you. The end of the road for you, somebody is taking that belt from you at WrestleMania. Someone who won the Royal Rumble. And the bad news is that man is going to be me. And this is where they start getting real close together. And he goes, and Cody says, or Punk goes, I'm your number one friend. And because of that, I won't stab you in the back. I'm going to stab you right in your front. And Cody goes, I appreciate that you say that. He goes, we grew up together and everybody that was chasing wrestling was chasing you. But guess what, Punk? I'm not chasing you anymore. You're chasing me. And they kind of square off and start bumping each other's shoulders a little bit, giving a little macho man. But that's basically how it ends. We have CM Punk, Cody Rhodes stare down. Is that what WrestleMania is going to look like? Does CM Punk win the Rumble? Big questions to end Raw. Good stuff. Pop.
Oh, you're popping this.
I am.
It
didn't make any sense in context of the story. I agree. But what we got was good.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's why I'm dropping this.
Yeah, that's fair.
Nothing from Cody. It also, the placement for this, it felt over. The show felt over.
Yes.
It felt weird. And for me mentally, I couldn't get back into it.
Yeah.
Now, the substance of what Punk is saying, I thought was really good stuff. Even Cody kind of going crazy and losing his marbles. I think that's really good stuff. The potential match about Punk and Cody at Mania, something I didn't really ever think of. I always thought if Punk wins, he's going to fight Gunther. It was kind of my thought, at least. You can sign me up for that because I would watch that as well. So all the stuff was great. Just with towards the end of the show, with how the show had kind of ended here towards the end, nothing with Cody in terms of addressing the Sami Zayn thing. I don't know if we get that on SmackDown, but that was kind of weird. Punk says, are you okay? And he's like, well, I know that may sound funny, but like, are you okay? And he's obviously talking about mental, but he doesn't mention the Sami Zayn thing. Like, nobody mentions it. It's like it didn't happen. So it was just weird. And at that point, you could also tell the crowd wasn't really into this. Like I said, the substance was good stuff, but everybody there, I think, was just kind of weirded out, confused, ready to go home. Kind of a weird end. Something felt off for the last Raw before the Rumble.
Completely agree. I do completely agree. And that all stands. I'll just leave it at that. It did feel very off. Okay. Mm-hmm. Cody not acknowledging what just happened to him. He just got kicked in the face by one of his friends. Like, why'd you not mention it? But looking past that, I think this was a very different Cody Rhodes on the mic that we're used to. And it's kind of become a running gag of like Cody gets on a mic, he starts talking, it's the Cody Rhodes promo. Everybody knows the raw Cody Rhodes promo. But this did feel like this is all getting to him. He is going kind of insane. His friends, he doesn't know who to trust anymore. Kevin Owens obviously has turned on him. Sami Zayn just kicked him in the face. He's looking at CM Punk, who is saying he's his friend, but also he's coming for the title and he's going to stab him in the front. It's like Cody is mentally breaking. And the American Nightmare, he has a past. He has a past of doing some bad things. And it's like, what are we going to do here? Are we going to lean into, is Cody going to break through and still be the good man he's going to be? Or come WrestleMania time, is Cody Rhodes going to be mentally broken? And we're going to get a dark side to Cody Rhodes. That's what I want to see, man. This plants the seeds. Looking forward to whatever they do.
Yeah, I think this is a really good stepping stone, a really good beginning for Cody Rhodes. If this is the Cody Rhodes we get up until and to Mania, that's fantastic. That's something that you can at least draw everybody in. I feel like you at least get some sort of dimensions added to him. We talk about Gunther's kind of getting stale in a sense. It was nice to see him get some life back brought to him. Same with Cody here.
Yeah, completely agree. Anyway, we gave this Raw 10 pops to 6 drops. I would say this was a 50-50 Raw. If you want to drop it, you can drop it. If you want to pop it, you can pop it. I thought there were some real down parts of the night, but the good parts were also good. So
very, very mixed bag. We talked about, at least with SmackDown last week on Friday, that had low expectations. They blew those out of the water. For me, at least personally, I had really high expectations. Your first really go home show to your big PLE on Netflix. You want to really drive it. You want people to tune in like, hey, this is why we moved to Netflix. We drive the point home, and it just fell flat for me.
I agree. But we need to wrap this up because it's been a long weekend, man. I have no voice. Mm-hmm. Chiefs won. It's a good weekend. It's WrestleMania week, or it's Royal Rumble week, if I can talk.
Last week he said it was Royal Rumble week, and now it's WrestleMania weekend.
I'm like Cody Rhodes. My mind's breaking too, man. I need some sleep. I need some
punching the table.
Punching the table. But follow us on all of our socials at COD WrestlePod, COD WrestlePod. Listen to us wherever you get your podcast at Spotify, Apple, YouTube, etc. If you want to come watch us, we have live streams for Raw and SmackDown. And of course, this weekend at the Royal Rumble, we'll be doing a live stream where we will be giving away shirts. We have some COD WrestlePod t-shirts we will be giving away, so be looking forward to that. But I'm Will. That's Brandon. We are the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. We will see you next time.